reflection of that. That easy. And let me get a clean brush. I have several of each brush here. I want to create the
What's going on, everybody? How we doing today? Actually, you know what? Hold on one sec. We're gonna start it over. We're gonna start it over. We have no choice but to start it over. All right. So just give me a second. What's going on, everybody? How we doing today? We doing all right? I sure hope we're doing all right. I have I'm using OBS, right? OBS is a little bit weird, all right? I'm a little bit nervous, but the thing is, we're using OBS for what is going to be mainly a Fish Tank exclusive stream, because that's what this is. It's going to be a 24-hour stream on Fishtank.live. Okay, you got to hit me up on there. That's the only way you're going to be able to see this whole thing, because I know plenty of you guys want to stay up 24 hours without me. I know plenty of you guys want to stay up 24 hours without me. Okay, excuse me. It's a 24-hour stream. Okay, I have a lot of time on my hands lately because things are just weird. Things are just weird, right? Things are weird. And I'm making the best of it, because that's all you can do at the end of the day, is just make the best of whatever hand you're dealt, whether it's a good one or a bad one. I don't even think this is necessarily a bad hand that I'm being dealt. I'm getting so much work done for myself that I don't usually ever have the time to do. You know, I'm getting a little bit more focused on personal training type stuff. When I say personal training, I mean like martial arts lessons, boxing, kickboxing, that kind of thing. I'm focusing on trying to get a fighter ready, the first fighter that I will be coaching in, I guess what you could call a head coach sort of environment or situation. Excuse me. And in addition to that, there's just other projects. Like I'm gonna go over one of the projects with you that I have that I'm working on. I finished it was either the third or the fourth video script. It looks like it's the fourth. I finished the fourth script for a course that I'm doing, an online course for street fighting. The more I think about it, the more I settle on the title "How to Fight If You Can't Fight." Okay, and it's basically meant to be a crash course, a how-to guide for defending oneself if you don't have years and years of martial arts experience or just anything like that. I'm gonna go over the script for the third video. It's not like a fully fleshed out script or anything like that. Yes, pocket sand tutorial, as Fun Young says. I'm sure they teach that down at the agency, right? Right, Fun Young? They taught you that one down at Langley. Is that where they taught you that one? No, but yeah, it's. I mean, dirty fighting is part of it, but this third one, and I'm not gonna jump right into it right away. You ain't got to worry. This third one is, and again, this is a working title: tactics, crowding, grabbing, pushing, wall work. Right? And they're all related. And when I do go over it, you're gonna see how they're related, right? I'm gonna explain all of it, and then I'm gonna do my thing here. One sec. My tic disorder has been acting up like a motherfucker. I interviewed JC from season 2. All right, who else could be JC other than my boy JC? That is, I don't know if he's in the chat right now. Is JC in the chat? My boy JC in the chat. I want to see. He's not in the chat right now, at least to my knowledge. To my knowledge, he's not in the chat. But I interviewed JC from season 2. All right, the lovely JC, and that was really good. I had a really good time. She's a very easy girl to talk to, and we also were able to connect a little bit. The Jason Mayhem Miller interview. If you didn't know, I interviewed Jason Mayhem Miller. I forget. Oh no, that was in like May. I interviewed Jason Miller from Bully Beatdown. I interviewed him like 2 days before 2.5 started back in like June. Like that, I was nervous because this is a dude that I've looked up to for years, and I'm not the kind of guy who's gonna be like, oh my god, this is whoa, right? But even then, it's still crazy to me, the thought that I was able to interview that guy, right? So I was a little bit stiff. This one was a lot more like a conversation. It was like two friends having a little chat, I actually was a little bit afraid I would talk too much, and because of that, if she ever made a peep while I was in the middle of talking, I was just like, oh no, you go. I'm just going to shut my mouth and you go now, right? So that's kind of the way that that's the way that went down. But we had some pretty good conversations. I had a good time. I like to think she had a good time too. And I'm excited to get that. I'm excited to get that out to you guys. It's going to be out on the sooner side, hopefully. Anyway, Spencer123 says, Scott, good to see you again. How's your night? It's going good, man. It's going good. This is, as I said, a 24-hour stream. When I do these 24-hour streams, I want to try to make sure that I don't sleep during them, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to sleep during this one. It's going to happen. I'm going to try to make it so that it's no more than like an hour maximum, right? The last one I did, I also slept, but I think I only slept for like 45 minutes. I took like a pretty quick nap, I took a pretty quick nap, but other than that, I stayed up for basically the whole thing, right? We played through all of Fallout 1, and we watched some old fights. We had a good time with that. It was a fun time. It was a good time, right? Oh, excuse me, jeez. I like inhaled some spit. But it's just gonna happen, okay? And the reason why is because I'm operating off of like 4 hours of sleep. I don't know why. For some reason, I just couldn't sleep last night. It was just one of those nights. I could not sleep for the life of me, and it was the worst kind of sleepless night. It's not like I was like, no, I'm just not tired, I'm gonna hang out. No, I was just tossing and turning in bed trying to get my ass to sleep, and I could not. I finally got to sleep at like 6 or 7 a.m. and I slept until like 10 or 11 maybe 12, right? But I'm not operating off that much sleep. And then I had to interview JC today. I had karate. I tried to make a joke and say it at the same time. I tried to say karate and karate all at the same time. So yeah, like, I'm gonna try not to, but I'm just letting you guys know now. It's gonna happen. It's most certainly gonna happen. So yeah, there's that. But another thing as well, right? There's a little bit of movement on this front. This is my Patreon, okay? There's 2 new videos up there. One of them is an interview with an ex-neo-Nazi skinhead, all right? This is the Hammerskins. He used to be a Hammerskin, and then he joined up with, like, another group or something like that. I made this guy's acquaintance, and I interviewed him, and he was legit. He was legit. He was able to prove to me that he was in there. He was in there like fucking swimwear, kid. So yeah, it's not going to be like a lot of the interviews with like former skinheads, former right-wing guys where, like there's this one guy, his name's Christian Piccolini, right? His whole thing, his thing is that he grifts by being a former neo-Nazi skinhead who saw the light, and he became a communist, a race communist. And now he walks around giving speeches and stuff like that for, I'm sure, not small amounts of money, for probably pretty good sums of money, about how, like, oh no, actually, you have to let your wife fuck a black dude because that's what whitey deserves. We're colonizers, a lot of the guys that will talk about their experience in these groups, like the Hammerskins and stuff like that, they're ex-dudes. They're ex-guys who, they don't like, they look back at it and they're like, oh, I was a bad guy, right? Excuse me. But as you can see here, like, again, this dude is legit. He left on good terms, and he didn't turn on anyone, at least from what he tells me. And the responses that he gave were pretty measured. But yeah, you can go ahead, you can find that on my Patreon, either that, or if you are a YouTube member, you can find that in the YouTube members only video section, if there even is one on my channel. But it's a member only video. $5 a month, and you get access to that. In addition to that, I have 20 pieces of advice for 20-year-olds part 2. A few months ago, I want to say probably 4 or 5 months ago at this point, I released a video called 20 pieces of advice for 20-year-olds. There was a kid, he asked me for some advice as someone who had just turned 20, and I gave him some, right? And after that, I got to thinking about it, and I was like, there was so much more I could have told that kid. Why don't I write everything down? And I was like, all right, fuck it. We'll do the meme thing. 20 pieces of advice for a 20-year-old. Ha ha. Cause get it, 20. Ha ha. The thing is, the video was so long, I had to slice it in 2. And I just got this one out. It is going to be out to the main channel. This is an early access video. Okay, this right here is an early access video. Geez, my nose is itching. Anyway, this is early access. You can get that for $1. Honestly, like if you just want early access for my channel, you get early access for $1. But I would suggest the $5 because you get this plus stuff like this, and like again, an early access video. This right here is one of the other streams that I did on Fishtank. I record the short streams, not the 24-hour ones, obviously, but this one's 3 hours and 20 minutes. I record those streams. You can only get them on Fishtank, and then you can only replay them on my Patreon. I don't even do this for for YouTube because I'd get in trouble on YouTube. There's a lot of stuff that I do and say on here that YouTube would not like. So if you're a YouTube member, I apologize. That's kind of one of the benefits of the Patreon, and I'm trying to think of ways that I can make YouTube membership special for you guys. So there's that. And then of course the truth about season 2 karate, right? I'm not gonna run you through the whole discography here. I'm just showing you an example because I was really excited to get that skinhead video out. That's actually one of the best videos that I've done production wise thus far. And to me, it's a very interesting topic. I really enjoy it. I like it a lot. So there's that. I'll go ahead. I'll check in on the YouTube chat as well. What's going on, Sid Beretta? How you doing? Joe Butt Slasher, Manly Cracker 65, Sneed Poster, Ape, Escape Ape, Piggy Detractor, Primus Steve. I said hello to, and Top Goat. How's everybody doing? Is Fishtank live stream still up? Yeah. The Fishtank stream. You see, if you're watching on YouTube, this stream is going to be about an hour long. I'm going to go for about an hour on YouTube, and then I'm going to end the YouTube stream, and I'm going to go ahead, and it's just going to be a Fishtank stream. This is both on Fishtank and YouTube right now. So, you can find me in both places. All right, you can find me in the club, Bottle Full of Bub. And yeah, so there's that. The last time I said I would go live, periodically on my YouTube channel, but that just didn't happen. I think for the last hour of my stream, I might have done. No, I didn't even do it for the last hour of my stream. But one thing that will happen, one thing that we will do, right? One thing that we will do is after the 24-hour stream ends tomorrow, if I feel up to it, if I feel like I can get away with it, we're going to go right into a fight companion stream because Alex Pereira is fighting tomorrow. I like Alex Pereira. There's a couple other fights that seem a little bit interesting on the UFC card tomorrow. So literally, we started around 9:45. We'll just call it 10 p.m. So 10 p.m. to 10 p.m., okay? And the UFC card starts at 10 p.m. So we probably won't even get a break, to tell you the truth, We probably won't even get a we probably won't even get a break, to tell you the truth. It probably won't happen. Ted Hitchcock says, "Wow, happy birthday, Scott." It's not my birthday actually. I see what's going on. Now, Ted Hitchcock, I don't know if you were serious or not, but I am going to be streaming on my birthday because it's going to be the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight. That's going to be taking place on my birthday, November 15th. I was born November 15th, 1994, for those of you that think I'm 40, all right, at 12:21 p.m., believe it or not. So, yeah. Anyway, Spencer123, Scott, what made you want to do interviews? Is this something you wanted to do for a while, or did someone inspire you? Here's the thing, right? I'm not a conversationalist. I'm not someone who is a big social butterfly or anything like that. I'm not someone who is constantly trying to talk to people and all this other stuff. And I'm very straightforward when it comes to the way that I speak to people. And because of this, throughout my entire life, the way I would get to know people is I would just literally ask them questions. Like, if we're trapped in a fucking room together, I just sit there, I'm like, so, what's your favorite band? You like sushi? Oh, nice. What's your favorite kind of sushi, right? Just interrogate them. Just fucking interrogate them. Just be like, what's your favorite sushi, huh? What is it? Which is it? Tell me. What do you mean? What do you mean you don't have a favorite, dude? You gotta have a favorite, bro. You gotta have one, dude. You gotta have one. You better tell me. You think about it. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes and tell me. All right. You got 5 minutes. Think about it, and you better have an answer for me. Okay. No, but like that's just how I get to know people, And because of that, I tend to ask questions that either A, other people don't think to ask, or B, they get to the crux of like something, Excuse me. Like with Jason Miller, like my proudest moment thus far as an interview, right? My proudest moment thus far as an interviewer was with Jason Miller, because a lot of people know Jason Miller from Bully Beatdown, and that's where I mainly know him from too, all right? But as I researched more into him after finding out about him all these years ago on Bully Beatdown, he actually beat an MMA legend, a Japanese MMA legend named Kazushi Sakuraba, right? maybe we'll go into this after the actually, you know what? No, fuck it. No, wait, no. Because no, with my luck, I'll end up getting bopped for copyright. I will get bopped for copyright, but he beat someone, and it was like a watershed moment in MMA. It was like one of those moments where like a torch was clearly passed, right? It was a big deal when Jason Miller beat Kazushi Sakuraba, and he didn't just beat him. He beat him. He beat him. Right? It wasn't like a close match. He dominated somebody who was known for dominating other people, right? And that was like a legendary moment in MMA. And I wanted to know, because I know what it's like to be backstage before an MMA fight. I know what it's like to have nerves. I know what it's like to feel confident, right? I've had all sorts of experiences backstage waiting to go out to fight, whether it's MMA, boxing, kickboxing. There's times where I've just been completely calm. There's times where I've been very scared. There's times where I've been completely and totally like confident. I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to hand it to this guy. That is what is going to happen, right? And I wanted to know, like, hey, Jason, what was that like backstage? And you can see it in the interview if you watch it. I want to say it's probably about halfway through. He ends up saying, oh, shoot. Hold on one sec. Huh, that's weird. Well, thank you very much, Sid Beretta, for the $20. Oh, here it is. Okay. I'm going to read that in a second. I just want to finish this. Finish this story, if you will. About halfway through my interview with Jason Miller, right? Is my shit fucked up? I see a bunch of F's in the chat. Oh, it's Aperture though. I don't think Aperture is watching my stream. He's probably watching Pow Tank. Wow, it's literally just me and Pow Tank right now. That's pretty crazy. Anyway, bottom line. The proudest moment of my interviewer career, if you want to call it that, was when I asked Jason Miller, hey, what was the energy like backstage before you fought Sakuraba? And he literally, you can see it in the thing, he goes, wow, nobody's ever asked me something like that. You know, and you just see him like you could see in his eyes, he was just transported back to it. He was like, first off, he was caught off guard. He was like surprised, right? He was like, wow, I didn't expect that. But you could see he was just kind of like, almost like he was having a flashback right in front of your face. Like one of those ones you see in movies where like 5 minutes happens in a half a second, you know? Like that's almost like what happened, you know? And that was like such a proud moment for me, you know? And like this is a dude who's been around for more than 20 years at this point. He's been well known for a long time, both good and bad. He's been interviewed a billion times by dudes who are much more famous, much more well respected than I am. Dudes that are better interviewers than I am, and nobody ever thought to ask him, "Hey, what was that like backstage?" And like for him to be like, "Wow, that was like, whoa, fucking yes, dude, holy shit." What's going on, baby? I'm streaming right now. But anyway, Sid Beretta, thank you so much for the $20, man. Passing on blessings. Wanted to know what you think of MMA Guru. I only just started watching some of his content, and I find him pretty damn amusing. Cheers, kid. I don't know that much about MMA Guru. To my understanding, he's kind of like a commentary guy. Like, he doesn't really do it. He just watches it. But I guess his commentary is pretty funny. And I can respect that. You know, I can respect that kind of thing. I don't mind it. You know, I think it's a good thing. Black Toast says, what's good, Scottster? Have you seen that police cam where a drunk dude is arguing with a cop about whether or not the said cop put him in a full Nelson or not? Good shit. No, I haven't. If you wanna send that to me on Instagram or Twitter though, if you wanna send that to me in one of those two avenues, go right ahead, right? Oh, excuse me. Well, we will take a good look at that. We'll take a good old look at that. Ted Hitchcock says, Scott, I'm assuming Lauren never wrote back yet. Yeah, unfortunately, she look, I think I'm probably just too high T for her, and she probably got like, she probably got, you know, you know, intimidated. Ted Hitchcock says, Scott, I'll mention you next time I bump into her for real. Dude, do that. Because the thing is, I would like to talk to Lauren Southern, you know? Like, I kind of seethe about her. I seethe about her a little bit. Her and Brittany Venti. It's kind of become a meme from what I've seen around, just like getting curious and looking around what people are saying about me. It seems like a low-key meme that I'm like, grr, Lauren Southern, Brittany Venti. But like, I don't hate them. I don't really have anything against them in any way, shape, or form. Other than they have this thing where they seem to they're hitting the wall. They're hitting the wall. They're getting older. They're realizing, oh, like, fuck, I don't have a lot of time. So now they're hitting their, you gotta man up, you gotta be a man and marry me phase, you know? They're hitting their baby rabies, man up and marry me and put a baby inside me phase, you know? And because of that, they're annoying on Twitter, you know? So that's my only gripe with them. But I'd love to talk to Lauren Southern on like a one-to-one level. You know, I'd love to talk to her. We could organize a debate if it comes down to it, right? That's the only debate that I would genuinely like take seriously. And that's because for such a long time I was into that like gender relations topic, you know? It's not like the Vegan Gains thing where I was like, wow, really? Vegan Gains wants to talk to me? Why? I literally put out a video on my YouTube channel called Why Fights Are Better Than Debates, arguing that you shouldn't talk things out, you shouldn't get into those internet slap fights, you should literally box it the fuck out, you know? You should throw hands over it. You shouldn't be like, oh, but you see, you're a hypocrite because you said you value liberal democracy, but you're trying to limit free speech. Instead of being like that, you should be like, yo, you want to fight about it? No? All right, shut up, pussy. You bitch. Just immediately go into, like, aggressive, like, shut the fuck up, you know? Anyway, at least at the end of a boxing match, you end up respecting your opponent. Exactly. Like, not that I don't respect Vegan Gains on, like, a personal level, right? I bet he's someone I could be in a room with and we'd, like, totally get along, you know? He has a temperament that I feel like I could probably get along with, right? But, like, I would respect him a lot more, and I would respect his mindset and the ground that he's trying to stand on a lot more if he would fight to defend that ground, right? If he really wanted to box me, I'd be like, yeah, sure, let's try and figure it out. I don't know where he's from. Is he like, I feel like he might be like a New York guy, either that or like an East Coast but like down south guy, right? I don't know. Maybe. Am I correct? No. Like, we could try and figure something out, you know? Fuck, we could do it on Fishtank. Not that I'm trying to inject a bunch of boxing into Fishtank, but it's just like that's a platform. That's a platform where we could easily just throw on the gloves and duke it out, and it's content, you know? Fucking, like, we could put it together if it came down to it, you know? And it wouldn't even be like a I hate you thing. It would just be a, hey, dude, like, you kind of had me. You tried to punk me on your shit. I didn't take it serious because I knew what you were trying to do. And now after I sat here laughing in your face about how, like, dumb the shit you were saying was, you're trying to act like you won, you know? Why don't we throw hands over it? Whatever, you know? That is one thing that I can't stand, though. I will say, right? One thing Alex Jones 99 said, Scott, God told me to drop an A-bomb on Massachusetts because they turned totally liberal. Dude, let me know when. Let me know when. I'll pull the lever. All right, we'll be up there in the Enola Gay. All right, we're gonna drop it from the original Enola Gay B-52 bomber or whatever it was, B-2, B-52, whatever it was. We're gonna be flying over. I call lever puller. All right, I want to be the guy who actually gets to release big boy or no, fat man and little boy. All right, I call it. All right, you got to let me have it. Pill Enjoyer says, Scott Sullivan MMA, Vegan Gains debates destroy all the time. He's automatically full offense and doesn't take any points into consideration. Oh yeah, exactly. You know, and from the get-go, it was a loaded situation because he was trying to define criteria that he knew would be extremely hard, if not impossible, to fulfill, right? It's like if I sat here and was like, convince me that I'm going bald, but you can't talk about the fact that my hairline's receding, right? Nothing you can say in that case would be able to convince me that I'm going bald because I took away your ability to point out the fucking obvious, right? That's what he was doing. That's what he was trying to do from the get-go. And I entertained it in a semi-serious fashion for as long as I felt like it. But as soon as I got tired of that, I was just like, this is fucking stupid, dude. You're asking me about alien invasions? What are you talking about? You're asking me about alien invasions and trying to make the claim that Jesus was a fucking vegan. As if that was a thing back then. Get out of here, you know? But yeah, like that's why these online debates are stupid as hell, because it's just two people who are doing that to each other. It's just full on offense. The second you go defensive, you lose every single time, right? And that's why to use an example, that's why Dunye was mogging Trish during season 2. Trish was trying to fight back, but like she kept going defensive, where Dunye would be like, "You a stupid hoe," and Trish would be like, "No, I'm not." And it's like, no, you're not supposed to say, "No, I'm not." You're supposed to say, I don't know, bitch, it takes one to know one. Like you're supposed to be that way about it, right? I'm not good at being a Floridian or an LA girly girl or gay dude, right? I'm not. That's not my wheelhouse. I talk shit in a slightly different manner, you know. That old Boston charm kid, that old Boston fucking charm, you cocksucker. But yeah, like. That's why Trish kept losing the exchanges. It's because she kept going on the defensive. You cannot go on the defensive in those situations. It's not good, right? Dissection says, I agree with Lauren's takes regarding the unreasonable criticism women get from men online, but she's seriously starting to bring it to the extreme. Oh yeah, of course, and that's always what happens with those people, you know? The internet has a habit of turning you into an extremist, right? And I don't mean like Islamic fundamental extremists. That's not what I mean. But what I mean is like whenever you say something, you're going to get pushback on it. And if you don't understand that the pushback doesn't really mean that much, either that or it's just somebody who has their own little like take on something and they don't 100% agree with you. If you make the mistake of believing that everybody has to agree with you in some way, shape, or form, you're just going to end up becoming someone who is like Lauren, who like you can see her slowly starting to almost end up like the feminists that she got famous for like arguing with, right? It's almost like the Overton window has shifted where like third wave feminism is out. Third wave feminism is practically right wing now. The way that the Overton window is shifted, that's how far left we've shifted. Is that third wave feminism from about 10 years ago, which is what she got famous for trying to fight against, that is now right wing. And she's almost filling the gap. She's almost trying to fill the gap like the average fucking conservative would. Right, it's crazy to see. It's fucking insane. And yeah, like I don't think anyone should just get criticized online for no reason, right? Like it'd be nice if everybody would be a bit. It would be nice if everybody would be a little bit nicer to and about each other. But at the same time, it's the internet. You know, it's the internet. Like everybody gets fucked with. I get fucked with. But for some reason, women they seem to think that they're the only ones that get fucked with. Like, the things that get said to and about me that I just pay no mind to, or when I say something, I'm just like, fuck you, pussy. You fucking bitch. Like, that's the energy I throw back. It's heinous, right? Yeah, you're good. It's absolutely heinous, the things that get said to me and the things that I see get said to, like, Jet and other people, right? Women have a different flavor of that they have to deal with a little bit more than men. So, you know, like, they have to deal with their own little thing. But also, on the flip side of that, again, like Lauren seems to think she's the only one who gets hate. In addition to that, there's a lot of women out there who like they act like shit and then they turn around and they're like, I'm a Christian now, yay. And then they act like that is supposed to be like, all they have to do is just take a picture with the Bible while wearing a dress. and that means they are saved. That it's not that easy. Forgiveness, right? Whether it's Christ's or humanity's, is not as simple as I have a Bible now. Hooray. It's not. And that's what a lot of these women are doing. And that you're seeing people like Lauren kind of try and simp for those girls, try and white knight for those girls, and it's really difficult to be around. It's really difficult to it's difficult to want to pay attention to someone who does that sort of thing. Excuse me. Scott is just a loser without a job, but Fishwan and Dr. What? Is usually chill. I see you in here more than I am, Medokin. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Anyway, bottom line, like, I'd love to have a conversation with Lauren Southern, because she is actually someone who could have a real conversation, and I feel like wouldn't be, like, a fucking weirdo about it. I will say that. But overall, it just is what it is. There we go. Sneed Poster says hit the like button. Yes, if you're watching on YouTube, I would really appreciate if you hit the like button. Says I can't share it to you on Instagram. Tragic. Try not YouTube. Jeez. Try Twitter. Try Twitter. Right? Go ahead and try Twitter real quick. Oh, looks like maybe. Someone said, don't listen to these feds. AJ from MMA Experts is way cooler than Guru. I'm not sponsored. All right, I'll have to check that guy out. You know, I'll have to check that dude out. I'm just double checking something here. All right, so I'm gonna go over something, right? So this right here, okay? This right here is how to fight if you can't fight. All right, we're going to be looking at this section, which is tactics, crowding, grabbing, pushing, wall work. Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll put it there. It is about a page and a half. It's not that long. All right, but I will be reading you a bunch of stuff, and then where applicable, I will show you this stuff too. Okay, you're getting free advice here that is actually really good if you don't know how to fight. So you're welcome on that one. All right, I'll just say it out loud. Usually I'm like, oh hey, I want to be helpful to people, but no, in this case, like you're welcome, kid. You're fucking welcome. Oh, excuse me. Oh man. Oh, okay. It sent the link on Instagram. I'm gonna snatch that link on Instagram, and I'm gonna get it so that I can go ahead and yes, here we go. All right, cool. One sec. I just gotta put it into the. I gotta put it in. I gotta slip it in. All right. I gotta slip it right in. Bang, bang. All right, cool. So I'll be able to rip that down from my email address when the time comes. We'll look at that. So, excuse me. There we go. Tactics: crowding, grabbing, pushing, wall work. Okay. Now, these are tactics that can be utilized by somebody who doesn't know how to fight to win a street fight, who is equally as well trained than they are. And in some cases, depending on how you use it, even someone who is better trained than they are, right? And again, this is going to be in video form, so this is a script that I'm reading. So it's going to start off with, in this installment, we will be discussing things that are more on the tactical side of a street fight, specifically if and when something is actually popped off. That's a technical term, by the way, popped off. we're going to go over a few different things that you will have an easy time remembering and defaulting to in a high stress situation. I am not saying these things will make you invincible or anything. I'm saying that many situations can be helped by adhering to them. Before we get into the tactics, let's talk about the underlying foundation of them, which are winning a street fight as quickly and efficiently as possible. These are things you do see in MMA. However, we'll be using them in a little... The way we'll be using them is a little different because in an MMA fight, you have two highly trained individuals who know how to handle the stress and attacks. This makes it a little bit more complicated than just being able to do them. It's a constant game of cat and mouse. Additionally, any combat sports match has an opponent... Additionally, it's easier to see anything coming. We're operating in spots where the fight doesn't typically have a go moment before violence starts, and we're going to be using this to our advantage in some cases. If you ask any MMA fighter if they could go in and dominate the entire fight, land all the punches and kicks, and not get hit at all, they would say yes, but it doesn't happen that way. Not for lack of trying, but because of what I mentioned a second ago. There's a much greater chance of you being able to get off unhurt in a street fight, and what it comes down to is whether you're going to give him an opportunity to do what he wants. I'll say right now that you shouldn't. You should treat it like an argument where you're shouting down someone so harshly they can't get a word in edgewise. If you do these moves with the right mindset, it will help you, okay? Then we get into the actual moves, and then there's some footnotes. Crowding. Crowd an opponent because most people can't fight on the inside, and he will not hurt you as much. Plus, it makes him uncomfortable to have someone in his grill. And this is good because the thing is, if I'm throwing punches at you, right, I want to get full extension. Even if it's hooks, I want my hook to be as big as I can without it ending up like that, right? I want it to be nice and compact, but I still want to be able to use the full extension of my body into that hook. If someone is in this close, there's a reason why in Muay Thai they have to default to elbows, knees, headbutts, and things like that, right? And that's because punches don't typically work. And most people aren't going to default to elbows, knees, and headbutts. It's not just going to happen like that. What's going to happen is you get close, they try and move back. You get close again, they try and move back, and you keep on getting close. If they do try to punch, they're typically literally going to be like trying to hit you like that, you know? You're going to end up in close, you're going to be here, and they're going to be like practically like patting you on the back like you're a baby being burped, right? Either that or maybe they're going for the back of your head. But the bottom line is you're trying to make them uncomfortable so that it's harder for them to hit you hard and harder for them to hit you in general, right? Grabbing. You can use grabbing as a way to create leverage to push him against a wall or into an object. If he has hair, you should grab it. And then in parentheses, I said, you aren't fighting for pride, you're fighting to survive. And this is 100% true. I've grabbed hair in a fight, right? One of the best ways you can initiate a grappling exchange in a street fight is by slapping someone and then grabbing right after. You literally bang, right? You hit them on the side of the head with your palm heel, and then you close, right? I've done that before, and it works very well. It works very, very well. If you're comfortable with it, you can grab his arms to stop them from being useful. And this one's going to be a little bit tough because I'm not saying it requires a ton of skill or anything like that, but it helps to have a little bit of MMA training or at least grappling training. Because the thing is, right, if I'm trying to stop a punch coming in, I'm going to want to put my arm about here because it's going to be hard to actually get that punch to go forward, all right? If I put here, I might be able to stop, but it's as you can see, it's not as good. If you can utilize the arms, right? If you can utilize your arms to stop him from being able to punch you, that's good, right? But it can be a little bit tough. Pushing. Use pushes to initiate a fight and pounce on him immediately. Push him into stuff to fall over. Push him to create space if he's crowding you and you don't like it. Use it as a means of escape if possible. And when I say pushing to initiate a fight, the reason I say this is because a lot of the time when it comes to people who die from street fights, it's not even that they died from a street fight, it's that they died from a sucker punch. They got hit by something they didn't expect to happen, and then they smacked their head on the pavement on the way down. That's typically how it goes. the idea of pushing someone is you're initiating the fight without actually having to sucker punch him. And it can be a little bit risky, right? Because if I push him and then I just square up, he now knows there's a fight that's commenced. Therefore, he's going to have an opportunity to try and get off whatever he wants to get off, right? And if you're not trained, it can be a little bit difficult to handle that. So it's kind of like a 50-50 thing where it's like, look, like you're taking a risk here, but it's probably a little bit better than sucker punching the dude, hitting him too hard, hitting him in a way that he just absolutely did not expect to be coming, and then he falls back on the pavement, right? Either that, or you can push him and then close distance immediately. You can push him and then use that to crowd him and keep his momentum going back all the way into a wall, which is what we're going to talk about now, or talk about in a second. And then also use it as a means of escape. You can literally push a dude and he falls over, or you just push a dude and he stumbles back a little bit. And because of that, you now have that much more space and that much more time to be able to get the hell out of there, right? Wall work, okay? Now, wall work is a little bit more dynamic. Not that the other things aren't dynamic, but there's a little bit more to it then, right? There's a little bit more to it. There is a teeny tiny bit more. I want to make sure I'm just trying to make sure of something here before I go into it. I just wanted to be absolutely sure. Where'd I put it? Oh, yeah, wall work, okay? Pin him up against a wall to keep him off balance and controlled. You see wall work in the UFC, and we're going to be doing similar things, but this will be a little bit different. You know, this is more. I'm speaking to the camera now. If you don't know how to grapple, it might be tough for you to remember to dig for underhooks. Underhooks being, if I was standing like this, right? If I was literally like T-posing, if you hug me underneath my arms, right? You hug me, you go for what is called a gable grip. That's underhooks. If you were to go over my arms, right? If you were to hook over my arms, that would be called overhooks. Okay, underhooks are typically the better move in most situations. But if you don't know how to grapple, it might be tough for you to remember to dig for underhooks. So we'll use. So what we'll do instead is combine all the former tactics into wall work because they're good for use in getting to the wall and staying there. You may start by shoving him to get him moving backwards, then immediately crowding him to keep that momentum going towards the wall, and either before or after he hits the wall, grabbing him to maintain control. Work whatever you... Excuse me, geez. Work with whatever you have. If you have one hand free, you can strike with that, whether it's punches or elbows, and you can go for low blows, midsection, head, etc. Make sure you keep him overwhelmed and off balance because that's the entire point of this. Make him either quit fighting or strike until you feel like he's too overwhelmed and use that to get a head start running. Depending on the situation, I might be crowded in close to keep him squished against the wall, but other times I might disengage so that I can have both hands free to punch. It really depends on how good of a job he's doing at fighting off the wall. And if he gets free and starts running away, don't bother chasing him. It's not about beating him. It's about protecting yourself. And then there's two more little things. As I mentioned before, these are best thought of as ways to make the fight as unfair in your favor as possible. You will be much better of. Okay. Okay. You will be much better off if you approach this from the mindset of not giving him a fair shake, because if he has the time and ability to fight back in a real way, it means you're more likely to get hurt. Whether you decide you have to strike first and you immediately break these out, or if you defend a sucker punch and go, or if you get jumped randomly, these are things to default to. You aren't trying to fight someone. You're trying to control the situation and get the better of the verbal shouting match that you're in. And that's what you should be thinking in terms of self-defense, is not I'm trying to fight this guy, is I'm trying to gain control of the situation so that it's very safe, right? So that it's much more safe than it was. That's really what you should be looking for in terms of that sort of thing, you know? Excuse me. I'm talking Asian Indians, Jeets, What are you talking? What are you talking about them for, Ben? Czar. Everywhere is a czar. This ain't fentanyl. Pink Floyd. I see what that was. What's going on, MP? What's going on, MP? Scott Czar Sullivan, the exterminator of the stank. Oh boy. Bard for hire. Scott, how do you reconcile being a Christian while also cursing and being a part of quote unquote unwholesome crude humor, which are both blatant and willing sins? I'm asking as a new Christian who can't live G rate. I mean, here's the thing, right? We are all sinners, right? Every single one of us is a sinner. We do things willingly and unwillingly that are sinful. They go against what God wishes for us to be doing. And this isn't because we are like necessarily trying to be bad. It's because we're ignorant. All right? Humans are ignorant. We are all ignorant people. It's what it is. God, one of the first stories in the Bible is the story of how our ignorance got us kicked out of the Garden of Eden, out of paradise, right? We had to be separated from God because we went against his word and we had tarnished ourselves, right? Before, you see, you'd have to talk to a theologian, right? You'd have to talk to a guy who knows more than I do. I'm more of a philosophy kind of guy than a the law kind of guy, right? But before then, even if we were with sin, it was tolerable in the eyes of God. But when we ate the apple, we were sent down to earth as a way to kind of test us, right? Well, not even just in a way, literally to test us, right? That's why we have to go through a bunch of things. We have to farm for our food. We have to, women have to give birth. You know, and it's a painful experience, a beautiful experience, but a painful experience. My wife's looking at me like, huh? The bottom line is we're down here because we're sinners. And to pretend like I'm not a sinner, after especially a lot of the things that I've done would be preposterous. And this is something that I talk about in a stream that I did, I want to say a month or two ago. It was called The Ego and Christianity. It wasn't the best stream that I've ever done. It was a little bit out there. I was here, there, and everywhere in what I was talking about, right? But in that, I speak on the truth that none of us are good people. And one of the foundational revelations that you have to have in order to be as good of a Christian as you can be. I don't think there's a such thing as a good Christian, but as good of a Christian as you can be. One of the key revelations that you have to have is that you are not a good person. I'm not a good person. That's just the way that it is, right? That's just what it is. Bottom line, you know? And because of that, I have to look out. I have to look out, and I have to make sure that I'm going to do everything that I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm going to fail at that. It doesn't mean that like I know I'm a bad guy. It's not some Socratic bullshit, right? Where it's like, oh, the only thing I know is that I don't know anything, and that makes me wise. That's why I'm wise, is because I'm wise enough to know that I'm not wise, and that's why I'm wise, right? It's not that. It's not that. It's literally like, I know I'm going to fail. I know that I am ignorant. And it's not about never failing. It's not about never being ignorant, because there's nothing I can do about my ignorance. It's about trying my best, making good choices day after day. When I fail, I absolutely positively have to own up to that. And I have a hard time with that sometimes. Everybody has a hard time with that sometimes, right? But you got to try your best to do it, whether it's right in the moment or whether you think about it later and you're like, oh yeah, you know what, I wasn't good. And I mean, you have to try your best. You know, that's what it is. But the bottom line is, like, it's not about never sinning. It's about recognizing that you're going to sin and having shame in the face of God. I actually got this from an ironic Muslim meme, believe it or not, right? It was this cat, and it was like it was saying like, "Where's your shame in the face of Allah?" Right? And like, it was a joke meme, right? In every facet, including the Islam thing, but like, it's true. Like, you need to have shame in the face of God. You know, I'm not trying to look God in the eye when I have to face Him on Judgment Day. You think I'm gonna do anything other than bow my head and get on my knees and be like, "Yo, I am absolutely a shitty person, and I don't deserve it. Whether you give it to me or not, I don't deserve it." Meaning salvation, right? Whether you give it to me or not, I do not deserve it. You know, and every night I pray to God. You know, I'll literally tell you the prayer that I say every night, to myself, right? Thank you, God, for the life that you've given me. Thank you for my wife. Thank you for giving me the ability to recognize my ignorance of my sin, and thank you for giving me the ability to try and turn away from it. I will not stop trying to turn away from my sin, even though I will never be anything other than a sinner. Please bless my friends, my family, as well as myself. Keep us safe, keep us from harm, and keep us on a righteous path. And then after that, if I feel like there's anybody who like really needs prayer, I'll pray for them. I'll be like, please bless this person. They're going through a hard time. Please bless that person. Their mother just died, or please bless the person who just died. You know, absolve them of their sin. Allow them to walk in your light in the kingdom of heaven, right? Like, that's the way that I pray. It's not like just, hey, thanks, God. Yeah, thanks, pal. Now I lay me down to sleep. No, it is a, hey, I don't deserve it. You've given me the foresight, the understanding to know that I don't deserve it. And I thank you for that, because that gives me the ability to try my best to steer clear of bad stuff. If it's all making sense right now. Now, to actually answer your question, okay? To actually answer your question about crude humor and all this other stuff, I don't want to say sin is not a big deal. Right? I don't want to say that sin is not a big deal, but also consider the time when the Bible was written. People were sacrificing children to Moloch. People were dying by stab wounds in wars. People were fighting in coliseums, dying for the amusement of thousands, and other things like that. I have a feeling that when Christ specifically mentions things about vulgarity, he might not 100% be referring to the fuck word. You know, he might not be referring to calling someone a bitch. You know, he might not be referring to that, right? In addition to that, crude humor is just that, humor. I think God is probably smart enough to know when somebody means something and when they don't. And whether it's willing or unwilling, I think he understands. Oh, there's a new poll that started. Would you rather be? We'll check that out in a second. I think he gets what it is. And I have a feeling he's probably not going to be like, well, you made a joke, so you're going to hell. I have a feeling that's probably not it. And even then, just because you sin, it doesn't mean you're automatically going to hell. For one thing, when God said, "Judge not, lest ye be judged," what he was referring to is he is the only one who truly understands what is inside the hearts of everybody else, you know. And because of that, you can have people who, like, they're absolutely miserable pricks, but it doesn't mean they're going to hell because they were wrathful or anything like that. God might see that they had goodness in their heart, and he might not just be like, oh, well, you're out of here, you know. A good example of this is actually in a cartoon. It's called God, the Devil, and Bob. This is something that helped me with my dad, because my dad was a hard ass when I was a kid. Hold on real quick. Let's see this poll here. Oh, that's fine. We'll do that poll later. But anyway, look, my dad was a hard ass when I was a kid. We're much cooler now. We're really cool now, actually. Like, I'm actually cool with my dad than I am my mom. But when I was growing up, he was a hard ass. We didn't get along very well. There were moments where I was like, I hate him. I want to kill him. This, that, the other thing. There was a few times I thought I was going to have to beat my dad like half to death, you know? Just the way that he was like being was like so insanely like fucked up. But anyway, beyond that, there was a cartoon. It was called God, the Devil, and Bob. And it ran for a season back in like 2000, 2001. It's a pretty good show. You know, you should definitely check it out. I think it's on like Daily Motion is like where you can find it. And probably the best, fuck, this is falling apart for me. The best episode of that was probably, the episode where Bob's dad dies, because it's literally God, the Devil, Bob. Right, those are the three main characters of the thing. Bob's dad dies, and Bob's dad was an asshole, and because of that, he was like, I bet my dad's in hell right now, and he got pretty angry because God came down and was like, actually, no, your dad's in heaven. So he spends the whole time kind of dealing with the loss of his dad, and one of the things he's dealing with is the idea that like, oh, how is my dad in heaven? He was so mean to me when you know I was a kid, all this stuff, and God explains to him like, hey, like, you know, your dad was actually not that bad of a guy. Now his dad, whoo, that was a mean bastard, you know that, and honestly, your dad handed you down a softer punch. Right? His dad handed him down a punch. Your dad took 10 to 20% off of that punch that he got handed down, and he handed it down to you. And that's what your job is to hand down a softer punch, right? Of course, the way if you watch it in context, you will if you watch it in context, you will get a better feel, right? And it'll sound better. But like, you should definitely look that up. God, the Devil, and Bob, Softer Punch. After I get off YouTube, I'll look it up for anybody who's still watching me on Fishtank, you know, which, I mean, Pow Tank is now mobile, so probably won't be that many people for much longer. Excuse me. Bard for Hire says, basically, I want to be able to live normally and follow my conscience, and not burn in hell for it without having to be disciplined monk. Yeah, and Christianity is one of the few religions that allows you to do that. You don't have to give up really anything to be a good Christian, you know, a good Christian, right? I'm sure there like what you have to give up is sin. What you have to give up is love for other gods, whether it's physical. Or if it is a false god, a false idol of some type, right? That's what you have to give up. And when I say give up sin, what I mean is you have to resolve to try your best to step away from that. Right? You should look up John Butler. Spiritual Unfoldment with John Butler. I'll go ahead, I'll look him up for you, right? Because this is good for everybody. This guy, I'm pretty sure he's like an Orthodox dude. If not, he is a, if not, then he's just like kind of like a non-denominational Christian. But this dude is like a Christian spiritualist. He's big into meditation via the Jesus prayer. Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on, Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner, right? He's big into the Jesus prayer and using that as a way to meditate. And the way he breaks things down, the way he explains things on a human level is very good for if you want to understand what a lot of things mean. Now, this guy is not clergy, but I feel that he is probably respected enough by clergy, even if it's like Protestant, idiot, British, like Anglican guys. Like, there's something about this guy that I like. I appreciate him, right? And the way he's able to explain things on a human level is nice. And I don't believe he has cucked And if he has, it was probably not in the way that a lot of other people have cucked, you know? I think he just kind of ignores certain questions that he knows are, like, going to be problematic for his image in terms of him as, like, a preacher, right? Which he's not. It's not like he's clergy, so he doesn't have to be doing any of this in the first place. It's not his responsibility to answer every question about gay marriage or anything else like that, right? There's no reason for him to delve into that if it's going to just cause some kind of issues, some kind of problems and things like that, right? But with that said, baby, she's ignoring me. That's all right. I'm gonna get up real quick. I'm going to get up real quick, all right? When I come back, I'm going to end the YouTube stream, and we're going to get into some of the fun stuff. So if you're watching me on YouTube, you got to go to Fishtank.live to see the rest of the 24-hour stream. We are now a little bit under an hour. Actually, we're a little bit over an hour into the stream. But since I started at like whatever time it was, 9:45. You know, I'm going 10:45. Is that first hour? You know, Jimmy just uploaded a shitty Nightcore remix. Hell yeah, we're checking that out.
Huh?
Nothing. I just wanted to mess with you. You're a punk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gives me. I have treats.
No.
Yeah. Do you want some?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Depends what.
Depends what. Bunch of chocolate stuff. I got these. These were mad good last time, although I got pure chocolate. This is like, kind of like a vanilla and milk flavor. Mm-hmm. You know. Show you guys these, right? These are like Balkan or Greek or something like that. I don't know which.
Did you got that cheesecake thing?
Oh no.
Oh, no.
I should have. Damn. That would have been good to grab. Fuck. Silly me. I got these. I don't even know what they are. They might have marshmallow in them, so you might not like them. These bad mama jammas. I got this. And I got a Mars bar, because Mars bars are like a Europe thing, I feel like. You don't find Mars bars around here much. Is Mars bar just like British Milky Way? Are there any England bros around? Are there any England bros around that can tell me if a Mars bar is just a European Milky Way? Jimmy said, I let Jacob know if he does something like this again, I'm down to come. I need at least 2 weeks notice though. Yeah, that's why I'm not going to be involved in POW Tank. Like, me and Jacob, we're cool. You know, we get back to each other whenever we message each other. There's open lines of communication. But everything that's going on with me right now, there's no way I would be able to get down to Texas to do that. As much as I would love to. I just, for one thing, like, I'm out of work right now because of fucking, like, you know, issues with my fucking with my shoulder. I feel like it might even be starting to spread to the other shoulder. I'm kind of fucking shitting bricks about that, dude. I'm kind of nervous about it. And then in addition to that, I got to be there to train my guy. And then there's a few other things that I got going on right now that it would make it tough for me to just be like, oh yeah, no, definitely, I'm gonna head on down there. I also got some sodas too. I got that good old. And I realized I haven't had grape soda in years. And I was like, do I even like grape soda anymore? I don't know. Let's find out. So, I'm just going to shove those in there. One moment. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. So, I want to see Jimmy's Nightcore thing. We'll listen to Jimmy's Nightcore thing as a bit of a send-off, if you will. Desktop audio. All right, so can we still be friends? Shitty Nightcore remix. All right. Damn. Yeah, this is just a fucking Milky Way. Jacob's scamming a waitress. How is Jacob scamming a waitress?
Jacob is a chungus.
That's a
Wholesome
dumbass.
chungus.
What a dumbass thing to say. Just go to the back.
This looks like it's gonna be really sweet. It's working. It's just slightly delayed, but like you saw,
Yeah, normal, it's good.
it's good.
Who's that chick? I should talk to that chick right there. What if can someone fill me in? Can someone fill me in on how exactly Jacob scammed somebody? Because I'm curious. That's why I'm watching this right now. They're at a Chili's. Letty is really Letty is really pounding those fucking those chips and
I like
It's
salsa.
mid, but I like the salsa. And I like it's the perfect amount of chili.
It tastes like the salsa from a Lunchable.
And I used to like the salsa from the Lunchable. Even though I hate like those jarred salsas. I think that shit is nasty.
Hi Ecuador says, LOL Scott, it's Friday, have a fucking beer like a fucking adult. This is my beer, buddy.
I just think sauce is mid in general. Especially guacamole. Guacamole sucks.
You don't like guacamole?
No. Every guacamole I taste tastes like
Oh, thank you.
You have to add like garlic powder and a little salt.
Yo, like, I like guacamole, but I low-key get what he's saying.
Other
You
stuff.
said you're dining and dashing.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this guy. It's like a chili pepper. Chili pepper witch.
that guy's so cool.
Isn't that awesome?
It's,
I like the chip stuff. I like how thin. Feels like you're eating almost nothing.
Yeah,
this is, this is why I yap. This is why I yap all the time. Is because if I'm not yapping, it's just gonna devolve into what Letty's doing. I'm just sitting here mowing down. She literally watch this shit. Double dipping, Letty. Oh, you fucking animal. You fucking animal. Just absolutely, just like.
It's funny when people like restream it. It's like Scott just streaming us. Us just eating at Chili's.
They're
He's just watching.
They, oh no, they caught me. They caught me.
TTS auto approves through the speaker.
They caught me. Oh no.
Proves.
Damn it.
Why not?
Damn it. I've been spotted. I've been spotted. Oh no. Anyway, so
TJ, what are you thinking about?
what is okay, right.
Scott?
He's got Scott on the mind.
TJ's thinking about me.
I love Scott.
feel like when you say Scott, you have to say his full like thing. Scott Sullivan
MMA. Yeah.
Oh man.
I want to stick up for Scott whenever someone doesn't say the MMA.
But doesn't that just remind people that he lost all his fights?
Oh, his record. I remember you got irritated when people asked me about that, and I didn't know what was going on.
No, I don't get irritated when people ask me about that. I'll tell somebody my
Scott is
record's
gonna
1 and
train
2.
up,
I get
And
irritated
in 6
when
months, he'll be
internet
fighting UFC,
weirdos,
okay? Watch out.
when internet weirdos try to like come at me. You know,
In 6 months,
it's like, you mean when you're rude to somebody, they might not like that. You mean when you're rude to somebody, they might get upset and be like, "Hey, go fuck yourself, pussy." You know.
Leave his Brazilian wife out of this, Shotty.
That's literally just how we do things in Boston too. Is we're very contentious people. We're always like, "Yo, go fuck yourself," you know.
Yeah, my head is round and square at the same time. So what?
Dude, Letty is just absolutely.
It is round and square at the
Letty,
same time.
save some for the rest. Save some for the rest of everybody. Save some for everybody else.
Letty, imagine you look
Holy
right there and
shit,
you're
what
watching
are you
our
doing?
stream.
Someone said, "How many chilies can there be in
That is
Houston, Texas?"
insane.
A lot.
Again,
are a lot.
Has anybody been counting? Has anybody been
Someone
counting?
should come to our chilies right now.
Holy shit.
Someone
Anyways,
should come to our Phillies and pay.
Scott, she ordered a full pasta dish too. Oof. Youch. Ah, man. Man, oh man. Just figuring all this shit out. Frosty Nip says, Scott, are they dissing you? Yeah, of course. Letty chip count. I can't even pretend. I can't even pretend. Rusty's drink looks great. They should have went to Applebee's. It's dollar cocktails. It's dollar cocktails at Applebee's. They could have got shitted. Then the real content would have started. If they went to Applebee's, they could have got some real content in there. They could have really let them have it. You know. Oh, excuse me. I just want to check something real quick. TTS has been on approve. I have to approve TTSs, so I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything before I turn off the YouTube stream. I'm going to put it on auto approve once I turn the YouTube stream off, and we will be all set. But with that said, if you are watching on YouTube, thank you so much. I am on Scott, what's your record overall fights, not just official ones like street fights and shit? I mean, I'm 1 and 2 in MMA. That's really the only one that I care about, you know? Anything else that I've ever done is just in preparation for MMA, because that's a tactic that people use. Is if you need practice in your grappling, if you need to improve your grappling, you go to a couple of grappling tournaments. If you need improvement in your striking, you go to a couple of like smokers, like kickboxing or boxing fights and things like that. So yeah, you know, there's that. But anyway, yeah, I'm on Fishtank.live. Okay, go to Fishtank.live if you want to see the rest of this. We are a little over an hour into a 24-hour stream. Okay, so we're going to be streaming for 24 hours. We're going to be doing a couple of things. We're going to be watching an old fight between a certain guy, if you will, and a certain other guy. All right, I want to talk about it too much. You got to come to Fishtank.live if you want to see it. Okay. Excuse me. Nightly trips to Applebee's would make Fish Tank much better. LMFAO. That you know what? Field trip fish toy for like $500. I'm gonna hit them up and I'm gonna let them know that field trip fish toy $500. They get taken to like a TGI Fridays or an Applebee's or a Chili's, right? Something like that. I know of a barcade type deal. I mean it's a little bit far away from the house, but like I mean for $500, I think they could I think they might be willing to do that, you know. But yeah, and anyway, Fish Tank, Dave and Buster's, that'd be hilarious, dude. Yo, field trip, right? The thing is, they have to act like special, an assisted living commune almost, right? Like Jet is the guy who makes sure that like they don't wander off in the and get lost in the meat section of the grocery store, right? They're 32, but they go on field trips to the playground and shit like that. You know, that might actually be pretty good. That might actually be pretty good. I'm gonna have to throw that their way and see what they want to do with that, because I think that's something they really should and could do. But anyway, I'm on Fishtank.live. Okay, we're also gonna be playing Fallout 2. We're gonna be playing through the entirety of Fallout 2. You know. But anyway, with that said, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to head out on YouTube. All right. Thank you guys so much. I will catch you later. Peace. Excuse me.